Good morning, all of you, and welcome to my cottage garden at Oak Hill in Sweden. I am Sara, and this is my work. I just arrived to work a couple of minutes ago. It's basically first time in a few days since I am here, and we just experienced the first frost night at Oak Hill. We have had frosts, I think it's like 3 nights in our home garden, but this is actually the first frost in this tiny little garden in our village, in my office garden, so to say. And I just wanted to stop by and bring you on a very short garden tour this day. It's a very special day for me when first frost arrives, because a lot of things has to be taken care of and I don't know exactly yet what kind of things, so I will have to make some sort of plan, and that's what I do when I do this garden tour for myself. I didn't manage to stop by saying hello in a live stream last week, and that's because we have had such a messy time. We have been sick. Me and my oldest boy Otto, we are the only one who did not get sick yet, but the rest of the family, including my husband, have been sick. Hi, Anthony. And it's always very tricky, having your own business. Hi, Janine. So do both me and my husband. And when one parent in our family with 4 children gets sick, it's always messy, and you can't work as usual, and you can't take care of things as usual. And today, waking up with quite cold weather, and all the kids need their winter clothing, and I didn't have time to prepare that one, so everyone is just like this. And today is finally a day when I can go to work as usual, and I am so much looking forward to this. Just making a fire indoors in the stove, preparing a nice cup of tea, and I am going to have 2 days for myself. This is, as I said, this is my cottage and my cottage garden. It's about 3 kilometers away from our home. So I go here to write. It's like my writing cottage. Since I write not only a garden blog, I also write books about gardening and making videos and classes and things like that about how to grow vegetables, mainly. So I need to have some peace and quiet. So today I usually have one night each week when I stay overnight in the cottage, and then I work really, really late with things. Some traffic. So I work really late, and I always get very, very good ideas in nighttime. So I really enjoy that. But last week I didn't have the possibility to go here. So today I have prepared myself with lots of knitting and good food, and so. And in Vietnam. Really exciting to have you all in my garden from all over the world. Right, so a thing in Sweden, in my part of the country today, is that it's quite cold. I have no gloves today, so I have to change my hand holding the selfie stick while doing this. And it's in the middle of October in Thailand. Welcome to Sweden. So it's in middle of October, and by now it should have been not winter, but very late autumn, fall. And this year everything is quite late, actually. And this is what I appreciate maybe the most when I watch garden videos from other parts of the world, to see the differences when it comes to the climate and what you can actually grow in your garden, etc., in a certain time of the year. This garden is based just very close. It's actually on the road, the main road through our little village. So I have some traffic, and it's very good because my gardens in Sweden, they attract a lot of visitors, humans, and in a while it's been quite busy in our home garden, and I do not appreciate you know, when people just stop by and they expect a garden tour and me to just let go of everything and show them and talk to them. So I have been quite angry about that sometime, but since I bought this house, everything changed. So now people, they stop by and they park. Oh, it's so foggy you nearly don't see it, but there's a church just behind me. So people park by the church and they just walk by. And this is a great plan actually. So they walk by the road and they can take photos and talk to me if I am out in the garden, of course. But I don't have to have like people in my home garden taking photos and making films about my kids, etc. Right, so in Sweden in October we used to have quite cold weather. By this I should have been putting the garlic in the ground, etc. But I am nearly not close to the things I used to do because we have quite a mild fall so far. So I have a lot of flowers. I still have peppers, you know, sweet peppers in my garden. You will see it in a minute. So even though we had frost yesterday, I think everything looks quite good. I will just walk you around in a few minutes. But by now, after first frost, things change quite much actually. Simply because there are a few things I need to do quite quick. So I have a lot of things to do this week and I don't know exactly how to manage that because I have plenty of job to do as well. Hi everyone who just started to watch this. In Sweden, oh my god, I forgot to check this up, but you may help me with this. I was going to tell you something about temperatures because that's I get a lot of questions about temperatures in Sweden in wintertime. And it's quite interesting, I think. But so you will have to help me check this up and leave a comment with the right temperature. In Sweden, I would say in my part of the country, I live in south parts of Sweden. We do have winter temperatures down to 30 degrees Celsius. I am not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. Can you please help me with that? So 30 degrees minus in Celsius, but what is that in Fahrenheit? So that is like the lowest temperature we experience. The difficult thing by growing vegetables and flowers and pretty much anything in my part of the country is that there are really low temperatures, and then they are not warm temperatures, but the difference is quite big. So we stay like 0 degrees in some parts of the winter, but then down to minus 30 degrees. So it makes it very difficult to grow things, because if we had like a steady temperature in 0 or maybe just below 0, the freezing point, it would be easier because then I could keep things in the ground in a better way. I can now keep vegetables in the ground. Hi, Marianne from Kuwait. So I can now keep things in the ground in Sweden in winter time. Also when it freezes, I will show you an example of that. But it will get difficult when it freeze and thaw over and over again. Because then the vegetables will sort of rotten. I call this, to practice this gardening in wintertime, like winter gardening, and it's very like cool in Sweden today to make experiences about this. And my garden have been like the first official garden to talk about this, and I actually wrote a book about winter gardening in Sweden, vegetables then. I don't include flowers in this yet. Maybe I will do that further on. So let's just turn the camera. In Blekinge, Luna, hi. You had frost in Blekinge as well. I could guess so, but you have a milder climate than we do here in Sweden. Someone asked me about my zone. In what kind of climate zone do I grow? It's very tricky to talk about climate zones in this context, because you watch this from Kuwait, from Thailand, from Canada, from Great Britain, from all over the place, and we do not have the same climate zones. Anthony, 30 degrees Celsius, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, is that the minus 30 degrees? I don't think so, because in my you know, the machine where I dry my herbs, etc., when I have like 122 degrees Fahrenheit, it is like 52 degrees Celsius. And that I used to dry vegetables, so I guess the Fahrenheit is not, well, it's the plus degrees warm. Where was I? Well, the climate zones, yes. But Sweden is comparable to Canada and some parts of Russia when it comes to the long latitude, yeah? And I think I have a blog post at sarabackmo.com. If you search for like latitude, you will find my, you know, the points on the map. Yeah, thank you, Anthony. Minus 30 degrees is 22 degrees minus Fahrenheit. Thank you. I will try to remember that. So we have quite cold weather in winter time. Now I will try to turn the camera. There are lots of things to tell you. So we had the first frost tonight. My guess is that the frost arrived early in morning, because that is what we used to experience. In front of this, you will see summer flowers. They are not very disturbed about the frost, so that's why I can tell it was not that like biting cold. It looks as if this, if they will survive, some of them, yes. I don't know exactly. This is Amimayus. It's the first time I grow this flower, and I don't know exactly how it will behave in cold weather. But since it belongs to the same family as the carrot, I think it will stand. It might stand a few frost nights, because carrots will do that. I have here a flower border with cosmos. Look a bit tired, but in here I also have the chrysanthemum. This is the first year I grow chrysanthemum, and I am completely in love about this. A pink variety. I just love the pink colors, and they are not at all disturbed about the cold. Next year I will try to grow them in another way so that I can enjoy them even more. Here I have what you call palette colors, and pretty much a type of raised bed. It's a very common way to start a garden in Sweden. And I made recently new sowings, and I will try to get a fabric to cover it today. They are hardy vegetables, spinach. I will try to overwinter it. I'm quite new in gardening wintertime in this garden, so I don't know exactly how the places will sort of act when it's winter. Here you see my peppers, and you can tell they are quite tired at the moment. Poor plants, right? They change the color, the leaves, when they are feeling a bit miserable. Spider. And I will today have to harvest all of them because they will not, what you say, ripen in this weather. So I will bring them in and I put them on a plate indoors, and they will ripen indoors. Most of them, not everyone. If they are very, very small like this, they will not turn red. So I can actually grow pepper outdoors in Sweden if I choose the right variety, and this is lipstick. Lipstick and King of the North are two very good varieties to grow in Sweden outdoors. Alright guys, you will now see the queen of all winter vegetables in Sweden, I'd say. This is the one that I have the best use for. And this is a mulched bed that I created in March, and I have grown broccoli in it. And after harvesting broccoli in, I think, August, I spread out the seeds to corn salad. You may also call it lamb's lettuce. When you buy this in Swedish stores, the leaves, you will call it mash, and it is grown and exported from like Italy and things like that, where they are grown commercially. The funny thing, and also the stupid thing by doing this, to transport the leaves from that part of the world to Sweden and Norway and Finland and whatever, is that this is one of the most hardy winter vegetables you can actually grow. Lamb's lettuce, corn salad. You simply sprinkle the seeds over the surface in late summer, even in the beginning of fall or late fall, and they will germinate and give you the most incredible harvest of leafy greens all through winter, also in my climate. So they will survive under a layer of snow as well. And you can read more about this at sarabackmo.com. It's my blog where I write about gardening in my cold climate. So this is not disturbed at all about the frost. I knew it. I have plenty of Chinese cabbage. And if you check my Instagram at Sara's Kitchen Garden, you will also see pictures and like small videos. Anthony, this is not the miner's lettuce. Miner's lettuce is it's a kind of portulac, and I have it at home, not yet here. I have sown it. You will see. This is the miner's lettuce. Recently germinated. Miner's lettuce is actually a favorite too. And miner's lettuce is leafy green that actually grows just when the temperature is around 0 Celsius, the freezing point. And it grows even though the daylight is very low. So it's a fantastic vegetable to grow in my cold climate in Sweden. Thank you for reminding me to say something about that. The Chinese cabbage, I have plenty of them, not as many as last year. Last year I grew the Chinese cabbage on a small hill on the other side of the house. And I think I actually harvested 40 to 50 cabbage hearts. It was just amazing, and I made lots of kimchi. I still have kimchi in my food cellar just underneath the house. I can bring you to that place some other time. But now it's time for me to cut down all the cosmos just by the road. It's finished. I will just have time to do that. And here I can show you. Can you guess what this is? Anyone who can guess what I grow here? This is actually the soya bean. And that's I will try to open this only with one hand. It's kind of tricky. I didn't treat the soya bean that good this year, unfortunately. So usually I grow them as edamame at home. Yeah, it's open. You will see. But this place was very, very dry this year. And I started to water in August. Well, simply because I didn't have the water hose that I needed. But in August, I also had a photographer over to take photos to quite an important article, a quite big article as well. So a few weeks before that photo session, I started to walk to water as like like an idiot. Water. But the soybean, well, I have to make another try with this variety. The variety is Black Jet. I have never grown it before, but it was told to be a good variety for my climate. And here you see they are not yet ripened and dried, but they have another color and they will turn into black when they are fully ripened and dried. But this one does not, well, this year the beans are not that big. I grow Midori Giant is a giant edamame that I grow from Baker Creek heirloom seeds, and they are like twice as big. The beans, they are just beautiful. And it's a big surprise to some people that you can actually grow soya beans in Sweden. But it is all about, as with any vegetable, you have to choose the right variety. So I always check for varieties that grow fast, and they will have this, I don't know what you call it, but the time where from sowing to harvest, the develop time. And one thing that I didn't succeed with, it's the second year, is this corn. It's a pink popcorn corn. And I chose it because it will grow fast, but it does not develop well in my climate. So we have too cold. I don't have any, the corn thing really to harvest. It's a disappointment. I think the frost might have been just in some parts of the garden this night. I have some zinnias. Didn't like it. And the calendula, I will go out today in a break to harvest the flowers, I think, for tea or something. I can talk forever about my gardens, you notice that? I feel embarrassed sometimes, but my family is not at all interested in listening me telling funny things about my garden. Oh, look at this and that. So I will just take the advantage now. The lettuce is just amazing. I don't harvest it, but look at the bright colors. I mean, it's Sweden. We passed a few frost nights and it's just amazing. Carrots. I harvest carrots now from these two beds. They are actually sown in July. So I make sowings of carrots in all spring and all summer until July. And we have the nicest summer carrots. I talk about summer carrots and winter carrots a lot, but there are a few differences. So these are summer carrots and they grow very fast. And since some of you may not have heard about this before, I tell you once again. So in Sweden or in other cold climates, we have really good use in sowing like the early varieties, like Nantes 2 or something like that. Summer carrots or early varieties of carrots. They grow fast and they germinate not that fast, but they grow fast. So in about 3 months after sowing, you may have your first carrots to harvest. But the winter carrots, the late varieties, winter and fall carrots, they grow slowly and they get larger, a lot larger, and they can stand actually cold in the ground for a very long time, and they can actually be stored for a very long time. If you try to store these and don't success that good, they will be very soft, you know. I don't know the exactly right words, but they are not that nice if you try to store them. It's very cold. But what I wanted to say was that if I make sowings of the summer carrots, the early varieties in summer, hello Ralph from Spain, if I make sowings of early carrots in Sweden in summertime, let's say in July, I can harvest the tender carrots, let's say in October, November, and even in December, which means that I can start harvesting and eating the late varieties that are good to store later in the season. In that way, I can have carrots from my own gardens all the way to like May from our own garden. And in May, I start to harvest from the first sowings of the year, the winter sowings of carrots. It's like a carrot fabric. Fabric, that's a textile in English, like an industry, right, with carrots. Here we see some signs of frost. And that sign is the dahlias. You know how you see in leaves that they are damaged by frost? They change color, and it's the same with some other kind of leaves as well. In this mid thing, the nerve, you will see they start to look almost like glass or something. Most often you don't see the signs of frost immediately. It will have to be warmer outside. Oh, I have to show you this. Look at the amaranth. It's beautiful. It's really hard to try to get my way through this. Lots and lots of plants. This is so funny. I have here 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever plants of root celeriac. And in my kitchen garden, I grow the same varieties, but they are very tiny because they were placed in the wrong place and completely covered by peas, unfortunately. But look at this beauty. I have to compare with my hands so that you see the size of it. Look at this. A root celeriac. It's beautiful. And here I have a sweet hidden in. Yes, Malin, it's a jungle of food. It is. That's so beautiful. A more root celeriac. They are like, oh my God, they are monsters. Here's, I found the signs. Jablochny. Root celeriac jablochny. It's sown in the 10th of January. Oh my God, I'm so happy I found this note. I didn't know what kind of root celeriac I grew. Oh my God, check this out. I get so enthusiastic about this. It's like, yeah, because you know, they are so tiny at home. And I thought to myself, oh, I chose the wrong variety, it's so bad. But I simply just put it in the wrong place. So now I know that until next season. Yeah. The chard is beautiful, and as you see, they are quite big plants. This is the variety rhubarb what something, with a different color of the stems. So bright lights is the variety, with orange and more yellowish. And I have red and also the pink varieties. And we have plenty of chard in the freezer already, so I don't know exactly what to do with them, but I will overwinter them. They will stay in the ground because I noticed something now when I have been quite interested in growing flowers and making flower arrangements and bouquets. Check this out. This is the flowering chard. And this is amazing. Look at it. And it's such a beautiful thing to put in a bouquet along with flowers. I get so happy when you say that my garden is beautiful. It's actually really nice to be able to show you what can be done in Sweden, because I mean, many people, also people living in Sweden who are not gardening, don't think we have that good possibilities to grow things and that our season is quite short, etc. But I mean, it is all about how you choose to do it, and you have to get some inspiration. But some of the more traditional inspiration is very, how should I put it? It's well, it is traditional, you know, you start to grow your things in spring and you harvest in summer and then it's finished. But I mean, I was here, as I said yesterday, just to pick some things in my office in the cottage. And since I could figure out that it was going to be quite cold, I picked so many dahlias yesterday. It was amazing. I mean, look at them. Still so nice. A bit tired over here. And here. I don't know exactly how this frost worked this night, because it was frozen when I got here. It was frozen on the ground in some areas. Over here, for example, it was all white on the grass clippings. Do you notice that sound? That sound is the gardeners who keep the graveyard at church in order, and right now they are using their grass clipping machine to mow the lawns. And by then I know what I am going to do later on today. I am going to bring my plastic bags and go up to get some grass clippings. I will just wait for a few cars. But this is really nice for me to see, because I was a bit upset in the morning when I noticed the frost in our home garden, and I was so sad because I have still many flowers and I am not yet finished with the flowers. I wanted to make another bouquet, another flower arrangement, just doing something with the flowers in the evening. And now I see that it's possible, so I am actually going to cut myself some flowers. Just look at this combination. This is like Sara. Sara loves bright colors. I have prepared a video actually about this flower border, telling you how I made it. It's really simple. Karen, what a nice comment actually. And I think that's the same for many of us, that we have this interest, and sometimes it's just tricky to talk about it. I'm very happy because my family, even though they don't share this interest, they really encourage me to go out in the garden and to do this because it makes me feel good. And I am sometimes quite emotional when thinking about what I get through the social media, because when I was new with my big kitchen garden at home, I didn't have anyone to like include in my gardening work, and I didn't know where to get inspiration because I didn't have time. We had 2 small kids when the kitchen garden was new to me. So I didn't know where to turn to get inspiration and to learn things. And it took me, I think, 6 months to find out that there were plenty of like gardening groups on Facebook. By then I didn't have Instagram, and it's 10 years ago. I didn't exactly know how to use like YouTube except for work at my job then at the Swedish radio. So it was all kind of new to me, and when I found out, it was like a whole new world, and I was so happy. And honestly, I can't imagine myself like being a gardener today without sharing things in social media, because that's where I share my joy, and I also get lots and lots of inspiration. And that's actually a funny thing to end this video with, saying that I sometimes get questions about, you know, where do you get your inspiration from? What kind of books or what kind of magazines or whatever? And to be honest with you, the most and the best inspiration for me is to follow ordinary people, just like you and me people, not the experts or the best photographers or the best gardeners or things like that, because they have more or less better, how do you say it? Better possibilities, with lots of money, with lots of time. They often have help in the garden, and I can't really, what do you say? I can't imagine myself in that position, you know? I will just wait for a truck to pass. But when I see pictures in social media from Anna, who is 35 and have 3 kids and try to elaborate with work and gardening and sick kids and whatever, it makes me feel like, all right, I can do it too. And if I should say something about my work, that is kind of the thing that I am most proud of too, I think, to be able to send some inspiration and to other ordinary people. And that is also why I don't want to bring in some help in my gardens, because I would think that it will sort of spoil a part of this joy, both in my own work and also when I share my work in social media. And now I am actually going to go in my house, make a little fire and give you all some garden inspiration. I harvested the black salsify in my garden yesterday, and I got lots and lots of questions about how to peel it in a good way, because it's sometimes it's not very pleasant because it's klibbigt. I can't find the right word for it in English. On your hands, it's difficult to peel the black salsify. So I will try to explain how I do that. I'm so grateful that you follow my channel, and if you want to, please check sarabackman.com for more updates from my garden, and check my Instagram account as well, at Sara's Kitchen Garden. So thank you all for today, and yeah, there was one more thing. In my last live's video, I promised you that I wanted to show you how I make you know, a mulched bed from scratch. And that's the most stupid thing I do, and I repeat it all the time as a garden influencer, to talk about what I am going to do in another video later on, because I never do that because something else turns up. But I will get back to that subject later on. Thank you all for watching today, and I hope you have a really, really nice garden day or sweet dreams about gardening, and I'll see you another day from my garden. Bye bye.